Hello guys, and welcome back to another cold episode. On today's episode, we are back with more tier, and also, branded. These are decks that work really well together. Who would have expected tier to work well with another generic fusion deck in branded? I know, crazy. But yeah, of course we're playing with 60 cards because grass is still legal, and being able to activate a myriad of effects when you activate grass, as well as just getting monsters into the graveyard for additional fuel for things like, I don't know, Albion or Snow or what have you, is very nice. So let's quickly do the card by card and the explanation. Starting off with the Despia stuff, we're playing the Double Tragedy, we are playing Double Aluber, as well as the one of Kit to go along with that. We're playing one Dramaturg of Despia and one Ad Libitum, and then the two Fallen Volbaz, along with one Tri-Brigade Mercurier. Kind of jumped around there, but it's fine. Yeah, Mercurier is very good, being able to like dump it into the graveyard with grass and then being able to banish it with Albion, or just being able to search it as an additional monster negate is very cool. So there's that. We also, of course, have ourselves the branded spell traps, which is branded fusion, triple of that. The one of, or one apiece of the theater. We have branded lost. We have branded banishment. We have branded retribution, and that is it for the one ofs. As for the two ofs, we're playing two branded opening and two branded in red. Pretty simple there. If you don't know what Retribution does, real quick, the main reason that we're playing it is not for the fact that it is a counter trap, but more so for its banish effect. So you can banish it from the graveyard to target a branded spell trap in your graveyard to add it to your hand. This is really good. Being able to activate grass, if it resolves, you're off to the races. But more importantly, if this gets into the graveyard, you are then able to banish it to grab back a branded fusion, a branded in red, a branded lost, branded banishment, etc., right? And since it adds it to your hand, you can immediately activate it as well, so that's very nice. All of the rest of these you should pretty much know, so I'm not going to go over those. As for the tier cards, we're maxing out on the tier cards, or at least most of them. Two of each of the fusion monsters, two Merly, two Havnis, two Sheeran. Then we have two Rhino Heart. We have better normal summons in the form of like Albaz, Aluber, Kit, and the like. So not really something we necessarily want to normal summon, but is still very important to have to go into the Kaleido Heart. On top of that, we are playing a bunch of the Ishizu cards as well, in Keldo, Mudora, two apiece of those, and two Kelbeck. We're not playing a Gido. Gido kind of sucks in the hand, and we don't really care too much about the milling effect, as much as we do care about, like, just having them as the shufflers, more importantly. You can send them off with grass and stuff like that, and what have you. But yeah, Kelbeck happens to be the best in hand effect, and additional millers aren't really going to do as much in this build, just due to it being kind of cluttered. So having additional millers just isn't as good. There you go. So yeah, that's kind of why we're cutting down. The shufflers are absolutely insane, but yeah, you could definitely cut down on at least one Mudora and just play the two. Moving on to the rest of the monsters, we have ourselves the one Herald of Orange Light. It's just very good in this build because we have a lot more fairies at our disposal. Plus, it's just a good card. Let's be honest with ourselves. I wasn't playing it because I'm stupid. We're playing Gamma. The reason for Gamma is to deal with Ash as effectively as possible. We want grass to resolve. This is another thing with grass. Right now, so many people are cutting Ash, specifically in like a Ishizu tier stuff. And so grass just resolves like 9 times out of 10, which is fantastic for you. So while it may seem like, oh, why is your grass resolving so often? Well, it's because whenever I draw it, it's going to resolve. So there you go. Very nice. But yeah, we're also having the Gamma so that if they do end up ashing, we get to Gamma them, and we're off to the races. We also have things like protecting our branded fusion or our branded opening or what have you, right? We can just Gamma them there as well. And then we can also Gamma a fusion effect in the graveyard. So if they go like Merly effect to fusion summon, we can negate that without triggering any effects. It's not the greatest against tier, but it's still something that you can do to kind of give yourself a bit of an advantage. So there's that. And then obviously the one driver. We're also playing Maxi. Maxi is still very good in this deck, being able to draw additional cards. And especially since we're playing 60, it's not like we're going to deck out reasonably. So yeah, just drawing cards is very nice. There you go. Moving on, we have ourselves... we also have ourselves one apiece of Snow, as well as the Golden Lord. Now, this sounds really weird, but trust me. The Golden Lord is in here for a few reasons. One, he's great to mill, being able to like send something to the graveyard like a SnowiKs or what have you to get a search, while also getting just a big body onto the field is fantastic, especially against floodgates in particular. Being able to be like, okay, gone, here comes the Golden Boy, and now we're off to the races. On top of that, against some floodgates as well, he is just like targeted removal, being able to send something to the graveyard. You can send like the Perlino to the graveyard as well. You can send additional back row to the graveyard, just like kind of targeted removal. And on top of that, if you send something like a SnowiKs or a tier card, you're also able to then search a card as well. So it does still generate advantage, and I like him. So there you go. What are you gonna do? Should I play him? Realistically, no. But he's here. Moving on, we have ourselves the rest of the cards. We were playing a bunch of other spells. Harpy's Feather Duster, Foolish Burial, Instant Fusion. Allure of Darkness is really good here. Just being able to go like Banish Tragedy, Banish Mercurier, Loss of Darks, etc., etc. And also, just being able to draw deeper into the deck is also very nice. We have the one Perlino. Oh, obviously double grass. We'd play 3 if we could. Yeah, the one Perlino, the double Scream, the double Called By, the one Meta Noise, one Crime, and double SnowiKs. We're not playing Heartbeat. Heartbeat just kind of sucks. I'm not gonna lie. It's just really bad right now. Mostly due to the fact that like you need to control. No, I don't think you need to control it here, but you need to like be able to send something to the graveyard. It's fine, but it's not like the greatest. So yeah, we just cut it. Scream is much better. But yeah, Meta Noise, the SnowiKs, and the Crime. We also cut Scream to 2 because we are less likely to see a tier card. So having Scream on the field matters less. So yeah, cutting that to 2, more so for the mills. Moving on, we have ourselves the extra deck, which is Mud Dragon, Kit, Dragostapelia, Titaniclad. The reason for Titaniclad actually comes up specifically in the Flu matchup. Being able to go like a normal summon Fallen of Albaz in order to fusion summon utilizing your opponent's M-Pen, while it could trigger their map, yeah, that's still pretty good, right? So yeah, being able to deal with that, as well as it's just an additional card to kind of like send off of a Mirror Jade in a more grindy game. So yeah, that's basically why. We have Albion as well, double Albion, double Masquerade. Masquerade is really good right now in the meta because tier has to activate 1,000,000 times before it actually gets rid of Masquerade. So yeah, this card's really, really strong. We also have the Mirror Jade, double Mirror Jade. The one Lubellion, hey, you can shuffle it back with not only its own effect, but also now the tier cards. So there's that. The Rukalos, one Guardian Chimera to summon off of Branded Internet, the one Kaleido Heart, and just in case we happen to have more of a tier Ishizu hand, we can still make the Abyss Dweller. So we're playing the one of there as well. So that's going to be the deck. Let's hop into the replays and show you how this deck performs. Alright, so here we are going second, and this is going to really showcase the benefit of playing this version over a Ishizu tier. Right now, everyone is main decking 1,000,000 outs to Ishizu tier. In specifically things like Dimension Shifter and Macrocosmos. Guess what? Branded only kind of cares about that. So my opponent is going to set a bunch of cards and pass the turn. Well, that's a-okay with me. We draw into Gamma. Frickin' of course we do. But that's fine. We're gonna go with Allure of Darkness. Out comes Macrocosmos. Sure. Hey, look, a Sheeran. Well, that's not going to be useful. I'm just going to banish it. We don't really have a way to deal with my opponent's board. And I know I just said, hey, Golden Lord deals with the back row. It deals with floodgates. Here's the thing. It deals with other floodgates. Yeah, it does need to be sent to the graveyard. So, whoops. But yeah, he's still here as a light target for us. Anyway, we're going to go for the Aluber here. We also activated our Branded Lost. So now we can go for the Branded Fusion here. Activate its effect, banishing our Tragedy and Albaz in order to go for the Lubellion. We're then going to go Tragedy, Chainlink 1, Lost, Chainlink 2, and Lubellion, Chainlink 3, banishing our Gamma. This allows us to go for the Masquerade here. And then I'm going to search the Mercurier, because guess what? Banishing it is also still pretty good. We get a search, so that's nice. Anyway, we're going to go to battle here, and we are going to, well, get met by Orochi, which we are just going to walk over, and it gets banished, so it's not like it's coming back. I'm going to set the Mercurier just in case. But yeah, we have the Masquerade. They are basically on a time limit as well. And then I realize, oh, once I see the Gizmek, I was like, oh, we're playing against Grand Maju. So we do also kind of have a time limit until they see it. But yeah, they're going to banish, they're going to activate the evenly matched. And I was like, That's fine. I ended up banishing the Lubellion. Don't think that's the right choice, but it was an attack position, and I was a little bit worried about that. But yeah, realistically, they had already gone to battle, so there's no point in not keeping the Lubellion. Just a mistake on my part. Anyway, we grab another lure. Fantastic. Hey, look, Havnus, also dead. Goodbye. Out comes the Aliware. They realize the game is over, and they concede. Yeah, just play branded. Hey, look at that. It worked. Alright, so here we are once again going first, actually. Sorry, not once again. But here we are going first once again. And we are going to go and activate our Foolish Burial to send Kelbeck. We kind of need something here. So I do go for the Kelbeck and reveal that my opponent is on Exosister. Fantastic. We only hit SnowiKs there. That was activatable. We did hit mill a Havnus, but can't really do anything with that since we didn't have a way to fusion summon. Anyway, now we get to go for the branded opening here, pitching the Retribution. So now we get to go Aluber. We're going to chainlink to the Retribution to add the branded fusion. So now we get to go for the branded Lost here to protect our monsters. So we're going to go for the branded Lost and then activate the branded fusion. They don't have Ash. Fantastic. Out comes Albion. Albion effect will then activate and it won't be able to be responded to. So now we get a banish 2 and we get to go for Lubellion. We then get, we then also get to search off of Lost here. And we're going to grab the Mercurial. We're then going to discard the Harpy's Feather Duster. Even though I know that they are on Exosister, I don't think the Harpy's Feather Duster is going to be worth it right now. We also get 2 Martha, which is very funny. Out comes the Mirror Jade, and now we get to activate our Sheeran, pitching the Mercurial. We only hit Scream, not the greatest, but hey, out comes the SnowiKs, and we get to pass the turn. We also have Maxi, we have the Mirror Jade, we have the Sheeran with SnowiKs. I'm feeling pretty confident here. My opponent starts off in the main phase, by the way, going for the Mirror Jade, and then they activate Dimensional Fissure. That's fine. We are going to, in response, chain our Maxi, as well as our Mirror Jade, which is negated. Now, I know what you're saying. Why didn't we, chain the Mirror Jade to banish something? Well, obviously it's negated. There's no real point. But also, even if they hadn't have activated this, guess what? We have Snow Engrave. Yeah, you know when I made Albion? Yeah, there was a reason to that. Because we get to dump Snow. So, having Snow Engrave means that if my opponent decides to go for something, we could actually have gone Mirror Jade effect to banish, and then banish it with the Snow to get it onto the get the Snow onto the field while triggering the Mirror Jade, which is cool. So, there you go. But now we're just going to negate the Mirror Jade to get it into the grave, or to get the Albion into the grave, and then my opponent, as soon as I activate Snow, concedes. Yeah, Snow is a problem. Alright, and here we are going a second, and there's only going to be 2 turns. Well, first and foremost, I drew grass. What can you say? Look, this is just a petition to ban grass. This is all that this is. I'm just saying Konami ban grass. Anyway, my opponent is on Ishizu tier, so they're going to do their tier stuff. They started with the Keldo there, and then they get to normal summon the Rhino Heart and a Mill 3 with Scream, and their mills aren't the greatest. They hit Havnus here, but they get to send a Merly as well, so they're going to go Havnus, just Havnus, and then activate the effect in order to grab up their kit. Their turn does take a while, so we're going to fast forward through this pretty quickly. Search out the Merly, do the Yoinky Splinky, send the kit, activate or summon the Merly, mill 5, mill 3, and then they are going to, again, they kind of hit some pretty bad cards, but they're then going to go for the Kaleido Heart here, activate the effect of their Rainbow Bridge, which they actually did end up hitting, in order to go for the Crystal Beast Emerald Tortoise, and then go for Paralino. Then they're going to search out their Havnus here, and go into Elf. Now, notably, they could have entirely screwed me out of the game if they had looked at my deck size. They had an opportunity with the what was it, with Rhino Heart, yeah, Rhino Heart, and the Keldo. Since they already had another Keldo in grave, there was no point in going for trying to get it into the grave like that. But they could have gone Abyss Dweller and just locked me out of the game, and I would have cried. It would have been the end of the game, basically. So there's that. But they decided not to do that and instead go for Elf in order to summon back Merly. Now, look, I get that most players aren't familiar with this deck, but it's just, you know, it's one of those things. Look at the size of your opponent's deck, and then you can immediately determine, hey, this is the play that I should go for. They still have a pretty decent hand. They have the Havnus in hand. They have a Shuffler. They have the Kaleido Heart. They have Sprite Elf. You know, it's looking pretty good. And out comes Maxi. Well, not a whole lot that I can do about that, but I did draw Gamma for turn, so there you go. So had they even gone for the Abyss Dweller, we could have played around that. But they do get to go Scream here, and then, of course, they get something, and now they can go for the Rook Hollows, which now we have to deal with. They decide to pop a card for some reason. I don't I don't know why we decided to do that there, but sure, that's fine. I'm going to activate Branded Lost. This will then trigger them to activate Elf in order to bring out their Diviner, to activate its effect in order to grab up the Entis, in order to pop a card. Why are we wasting extra deck space on this? It's fine. Out goes the Lost. That's fine. It's funny because now we get to go and activate Grass. So we're going to mill a myriad of cards, and we're going to do some chain linking. So obviously, the first things that we're going to do is we're going to activate our fusion spells first to basically force out the one shuffler that they have. They only have the one, so that's all that I have to play around, which is pretty nice for me. So we're going to activate just a whole bunch of things in chain. We're going to get up to chain link 6. They're going to then activate their chain link in order to shuffle back all of our monsters. Then we also milled a retribution, so now we can get back that Lost, and you'll see why we're doing that in a second. I'm then going to activate my own Keldo and shuffle back some of the branded stuff, specifically both of the all bosses that we milled. And now I'm going to activate my Snow. They will then chain their Rukalos, which I don't know why they're doing this. Like, yeah, Snow hitting the field is totally fine. What are we gonna flip down Diviner? Like, it literally doesn't do anything. But, hey, it forces out the negate, and now we can activate Snow again, banishing a whole bunch of cards. Notably, with Snow, we also banished our, Mercurier, so we can activate the Mercurier. We also banished Tragedy, but Tragedy had already activated its effect, so it's not that big of a deal. Anyway, we're going to shuffle back some of our cards. We're going to grab up the Lost. We are then going to get cards shuffled back. We're going to grab up the Sheeran. We're going to grab up the SnowiK. We are going to grab up the Aluber, and then we're going to resolve the chain. We're going to activate the Snow just to flip a card face down, and then last card, grab up Kit. Now, this was not through Maxi, and before we really started our turn, we have 8 cards in hand. Right, with this, that's 8. Insane! Anyway, we're going to normal summon Fallen Volbaz because it's funny. Out comes the Havness, and I'm like, that is a-okay. Because they don't have anything here, and they cannot respond to my effect due to Lost. And then we also get to activate Lost, which also turns off their effect. And so now we get to go for a Kit here. So even though they could have the ability to special summon back the Rukalos, they literally couldn't because of Lost. Happy day. So there's that. Anyway, we grab up the Branded Fusion now because we had the Kit that we searched off of Lost. And now we have the Eldritch Engrave, so we're going to go for the Eldritch here just to add it back to hand so that we can pitch it off of this Sheeran. We're then going to activate the Sheeran effect, and they are going to go for the Kelbeck. I am totally fine with that. In fact, I welcome it, and you will see why in a second. First of all, we're going to banish their Kaleido Heart, get it out of there, and then we are going to go for the Branded Fusion. Guess what? We hadn't activated Branded Fusion up until this point. Out comes the Lubellion. We're then going to activate the Lubellion here, and we are going to pitch a card. We also didn't mill very well with, well, we milled fine. We hit them early, but that's not, it was something we had already activated. The only one we hadn't activated was Sheeran. So now we're going to go for the Sheeran here, and we're going to shuffle back 2 cards, and make the Kaleido Heart, and then we are going to shuffle back another 2 cards in order to go for the Mirror Jade. And so, yeah, now we get to activate the Kaleido Heart. We're going to shuffle away the Planet Perlino. I don't like it. It's a bit problematic, but more importantly, we can deal with the entire board here as well by doing that. So we're going to deal with the board. We're going to send the Titaniclad. We're going to banish the Elf. Then we are going to proceed to battle. Walk in, walk in, walk in. One more, and now we can actually deal damage. Pretty nice there. Now, during the end phase, we have a whole bunch of things that we can activate. Well, a few things. We get to activate the Titaniclad and the Albion. So first and foremost, we're going to banish, and there's the concession. So, yeah, just break your opponent's board with Grass. Yeah, the Lost was hugely instrumental there. And being able to just activate Grass and have it resolve because no one's playing Ash Blossom is fantastic. So we are back with the deck, and in all honesty, this is probably the best version to play on ladder. Maybe not the 60 card specific, or like these specific 60 cards. I never summoned a Best Dweller, just wasn't a thing that happened. But it's a thing that you could do. Yeah, just overall, this was an insane deck. It just works exceptionally well. 2 things. 1, plays around floodgates, specifically tier hate floodgates very well, right? Being able to just like activate Branded Fusion and get a big guy onto your field is fantastic, right? Just, oh, Masquerade against Flunder. L. You know, stuff like that. But on top of that, we also have access to just the entire rest of the Branded engine, being able to go Grass and mill a myriad of cards that are then all turned online is great. Eldritch the Golden Lord can be played, so you know it's good. But hugely, Snow. Snow is absolutely insane. The amount of games that I was even like able to do anything in was a lot of times it was just like, because of Snow, I was able to actually play the game sometimes where I realistically should not have. Snow is absolutely ban worthy. It's not going to be banned anytime soon. I would be very surprised if it just immediately gets banned. I wouldn't be surprised though if it does get limited in some regard. This card is insane, and you see that right here in this deck. Yeah, so many cool things that this deck does. Being able to activate grass and just like turn off your opponent, or just like play through basically everything because you have so many options is insane. So yeah, just really cool. So many options, so many different choices. Masquerade again is so good. If you even just like setting up one Masquerade, it's so difficult for Tier to play through that, or Flunder, or basically anything. And let alone you could set up 2 if you wanted to as well, if you were like heavily indexing into that. So yeah, lots of really cool stuff that you can do with this deck, and I like it. I approve. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and if you do want to see more content like this as well as more Yu-Gi-Oh, then just be sure to subscribe. Anyway, thank you guys so much for watching, and remember to always stay frosty. Bye-bye. Shout out to the Frost Guard, my members. Thank you guys so much for the support, and I hope you enjoy the content.